Guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video on the channel. Today we've got the Game Week 3 predictions. I am by myself this week, Philip isn't well. Before we get into this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and smack my bell. We've got these coming up now in 2 days time. We've got a Newcastle preview, and then on Sunday we've got Carabao Cup predictions where we have 8 on the screen, the 8 most interesting ones. We're predicting every single one, but the 8 on the screen we go over more in depth because there's a couple of tasty ties in that. We're going to have Champions League predictions coming up. We're going to have a reaction to the Champions League draw, and I'm going to try and get some FIFA 20 stuff out. It's not on the screen now, but at the moment I do boast a 40% record of results. So I have 8 out of 20 at the moment, and I've got no scores right. So don't do an accumulator on me. Game Week 3 starts with Aston Villa versus Everton on Friday. Everton haven't conceded yet this season. They've looked quite good. Aston Villa, they lost to us. Yeah, they lost to Bournemouth 2-1. Everton won 1-0. They haven't scored a lot, which could be a bit worrying if you're an Everton fan. But then you haven't conceded yet this season. For this game, I'm going with a 1-0 Everton win. It's not a curse, but Grealish hasn't won 20 games in the Premier League. And Everton haven't conceded, but they don't score much. Aston Villa are on back-to-back losses, so they want to get points, but I think Everton might just have enough of that Premier League quality to see off Villa at Villa Park. Next is Norwich versus Chelsea at Carrow Road. Norwich, who just won 3-1 against Newcastle. Timu Pukki getting a hat-trick. Chelsea just drew to Leicester 1-1. They looked fantastic in the first half yet again, like they did against Man United, and in the second half they dropped off. So if they keep that up, keep the first half momentum going to the second half, they could certainly beat Norwich. I think they will beat them anyway. It's a bit of a mismatch. I'm going with 2-1 to Chelsea. They have to get going at some point, and I think this is the perfect game to get going. Next is Brighton versus Southampton. Brighton, who have looked fairly decent so far this season. Granted, 2 games, they won 3-0 away at Watford and drew last week to West Ham. Southampton, they lost 3-0 to Burnley, and last week they played Liverpool. They lost 2-1. They got a goal that they shouldn't have got through Adrian's mistake. Brighton looked pretty good. Southampton, from what I remember on the first game week, they didn't look too good. I think Southampton are going to lose again. I'm going with a 2-1 Brighton win. Next is Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, who haven't scored yet this season, looked terrible against Sheffield United. And Man United, who looked pretty good this season. They would have won against Wolves if Pogba didn't take the penalty. Rashford would have buried it. Martial looks a threat, Rashford looks a threat. Yeah, I think they're going to continue their winning ways. Well, I say that, they won and drew. So I think they're going to get another win. And a clean sheet, so no goal for Crystal Palace again. I'm going with a 3-0 Man United win at Old Trafford. Next is Sheffield United versus Leicester. Sheffield United have looked really good in their first 2 games. They held out a draw at Bournemouth, and they got 3 points against Crystal Palace. Leicester, who have drawn their opening 2 games, 0-0 and 1-0. They look good in the second half against Chelsea. Premier League quality from Leicester, I think, will just shine through for them, just like Chelsea and Everton against Norwich and Aston Villa. I'm going with a 1-0 Leicester victory. Next is Watford versus West Ham. A pretty boring game in my eyes. Watford, I think, are boring as fuck. Watford, they lost 3-0 in their first game, and they lost 1-0 on the weekend to Everton. West Ham got thumped 5-0, and they drew 1-0 against Brighton. And I see another draw here. I'm going with a 1-1 draw in this game. I don't really have much to say about this game because they're fucking terrible teams. Next is the game of the weekend. It's Liverpool versus Arsenal, a tasty game for the neutrals, even though I'm more towards Liverpool, obviously, as a Spurs fan. I don't like saying this, but Arsenal do look quite good this season. Pepe's come in, he played well against Burnley when he came on. Ceballos looks good with 2 assists. Their defence looks like it's holding out with David Luiz. He's a really good defender. He's got a mistake in him, but he's a good defender. Liverpool, you know, Salah, Mane, Firmino. Adrian in goal, still a really good backup keeper to Alisson. And then your suspects at the back, Van Dijk, Matip, Robertson and Alexander-Arnold. I do think this is going to be a really close game for once. Arsenal don't like going there, as the recent record shows. Last year they lost 5-1. Salamano and Firmino, they've all scored against Arsenal at Anfield. Firmino scores first. This game, I'm going to go with a really close fought game, 3-2 to Liverpool. I think they just have enough to beat Arsenal and hopefully knock some of their momentum heading into the North London derby. Liverpool really, and they're going to have class at home. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal walk away with a point at least at Anfield. I'm probably going to look like a muppet saying that come the weekend. Next on Super Sunday is Bournemouth versus Man City. The reigning champions Man City, they drew to us on the weekend just gone. VAR ruling out another goal. Bournemouth really haven't looked good. They drew to Sheffield United and they unconvincingly, I think, beat Aston Villa. I'm going with a Man City win here, obviously. I'm going with 2-0 to Man City. A bit of a lesser scoreline because it is at Bournemouth's ground, the vitality as it goes. Yeah, Man City. De Bruyne looks fantastic this season, which is, for me, brilliant because I really like De Bruyne as a player. I think he's the best player in the league on his day. Sterling is Sterling. Aguero is Aguero. Yeah, Man City. We done well to get a point against them, can I just say. Next is Tottenham versus Newcastle on Super Sunday. This is the televised game, so I don't know why I'm not finishing with this one. But, you know, Tottenham, Newcastle. I really don't like them because they've got Steve Bruce in charge. And I just see them getting thumped here. You know, I'm going to release a preview on Friday, so I won't talk about it too much, as I don't every week with Spurs games. But I'm going with a 4-0 Tottenham win. I am filming the preview straight after this, so it's going to be the same scoreline. If you want an in-depth analysis, go to the video. So yeah, 4-0 to Spurs. You know, we're going to have Heung-min Son back, Kane, Lucas, who has been fantastic this season. Lamella's been okay. We've just got trouble with Eriksen and Vertonghen, really. I think Vertonghen might have had a bust up with Pochettino. I don't really know. I'll speak about it more in the preview. So yeah, as I said, subscribe to the channel for the preview. Last but not least, we have Wolves taking on Burnley. Wolves who just got a point out of Man United, but Wolves who tomorrow travel to Turin to play Torino in the Europa League qualifier. Now, I think that's going to be a problem, like it is with most teams that are going into Europa League for the first time or whatever, first time in ages. It happened with Burnley, happened with West Ham, happened with Southampton, and I think it's going to happen to Wolves. Burnley also have looked quite good. Obviously, they won 3-0 against Southampton, and then they obviously lost to Arsenal on the weekend, but they played really well. Ashley Barnes is playing brilliant at the moment. Surprisingly to some, I'm going with a 3-1 Burnley win. Burnley have looked really good. That could be a shocker to some of you. It was to me when I go on my first instinct. That was my instinct. Burnley have looked really well. Ashley Barnes, you know, he's brilliant, and I think Wolves are going to have their work cut out against Torino. They could go through in the away leg, but it's really tough going to Turin. Torino are a really good team. And with their season starting earlier than Burnley's, than everyone's in the season, yeah, I see them struggling. So 3-1 to Burnley. Right, so that's going to be it for the video. As I said, subscribe to the channel if you want to. Comment your predictions, leave a like on the video, and yeah, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.